Hey guys! Good evening on this Wednesday afternoon. Definitely say hi. Let me know you're here. I'm going to pull up comments. And we will get started. It's been quite a while since I've joined you guys on a live. So I'm actually pretty excited about it. Hey Linda! So, hi Valley. Yeah, so it's a Wednesday, middle of the week. How's your guys' week going? Hopefully good start. We're halfway through. Hi Marie. So today is going to be kind of fun. You guys are going to hear all the nitty-gritty details of the paper process and some of the common concerns that I'm sure some of you have felt when it comes to paper and how Kiwi Lane has addressed those issues with our paper design process. Hi Jane. Hi Barbara. And Joni. Hopefully you guys, a lot of you jump on and join me. I think you guys I think it's going to be pretty interesting. I think a lot of you might be interested to know how it goes down when we design paper. So let me grab my notes and everything. Oh, I just lost you. All right, there we go. Okay, Mary. Yes, I love patterned paper. So first of all, you guys all have to tell me how many of you would consider yourself a paper hoarder. I know hoarder is not a very flattering word, but I'm asking you to be honest. Would you consider yourself a paper hoarder? Anybody want to fess up? I have a lot of paper right now. I need to make more time to use it. I just don't. So, all right. Everyone's confessing. This is our, let's see, Papers Anonymous meeting. Everyone's a paper hoarder. And I'm going to explain to you why. Why? Well, one of the reasons I think why. Teresa is a paper collector. See, that's a better word for it, right? Okay. It's too pretty to cut into. Yep, we're going to address that tonight as well. So, okay. So, back, Kiwi Lane has been around for a while. But back in the day, Susan and Shiloh and Debbie, they were all scrapbookers themselves. They all bought paper just like you guys, right? And I wish I could, one of these times I'm going to have my face on here and my hands, but it doesn't work in my office right now, guys. So sorry, you always get my hands. I need to do something awesome with my hands. But so, there was the frustrations that they felt. There was really cute patterns, like they would, and I'm just going to preface this. These are all paper packs that I own. So when I tell you the frustrations, they are frustrations, but we still buy other people's paper, okay? So they have really cute patterns, right? Like the front is like all eye candy. You see all these patterns and you're like, oh my gosh, I love all of them. And then, so you buy the pack, right? And then you get into it and there is about 1 million main patterns. So when I say main pattern, I'm talking about patterns that have all of the colors in the line, right? So this I would consider a main pattern because it has all of the color palette in it, okay? So there's one main pattern. Then you have, let's see how many main patterns we can pull out of here. I would consider this a main pattern. I would consider this a main pattern. I would consider this a main pattern. And this one. And this this one, and this one, and this one, and let's see. I would probably consider that a main pattern as well. And then we've got some sticker sheets back there. So we're going to set those aside for a minute. So let's see. There's 12 sheets of paper in here. So out of 12 sheets, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This could be considered a main pattern, even though it doesn't have all the color palette. Actually, we'll stop at 9. We've got 9 main patterns. Okay, awesome, right? But the main pattern is supposed to be able to set the mood of your page. Okay, so if I have 9, what do I use, right? It automatically makes me have to make a choice, lots of choices, right? So it gets a little stressful right there because you love them all. And some might apply, you know, to specific pictures and things, but they're all fall related. So then you have to pick and choose, like, which you're going to use, right? So that's just one of the frustrations. There's too many main patterns. Then if you have all those main patterns, you don't have enough blenders to layer on those main patterns, right? Because all your sheets are taken up with busy patterns, you don't have the blenders to lay on top. So we've got this pretty yellow, we've got this pretty orange, we've got, let's see, we've got this brown, and let's see what else we got. You could probably use this blue, but then these are all on the backs. Oh, and we've got this other yellow. So you've got 2 yellows, a brown, a blue, and an orange. That's all you have as far as blenders to lay on top of all those 9 main patterns. And some of these blenders are on the backs of your main patterns. So if you use some of your main pattern, then you're very limited on your blenders. So do you have enough of this orange to go around if you wanted to make multiple layouts with this, right? You guys feeling me, right? Okay. So then one of the other frustrations is when you buy a pack of paper, pretty much from almost any company, it's very unlikely that you're going to have 2 matching backgrounds. So then you have to go and either get solid cardstock, or you have to go through your rest of your paper stash and see if you have background sheets that will match the colors in this line, or you have to buy 2 packs of paper, which is what I've done sometimes. You have to buy 2 packs of paper. So I might use this orange as a background, and then I buy another pack so I can have a matching background sheets. But then I lose this orange as a blender, right? So then I have all of these pretty patterns, but then I don't have anything to layer on top with my accessories and things, right? Have you guys felt this frustration? Anyone? Or am I just talking? Yeah, exactly, Deetra. You have so much left. And you pay $15 for this paper pack, and then you have like all of these patterns left with nothing to use with them, which is so sad, right? So sad, because then it just adds to our paper stash. So then we look like paper hoarders, right? And then you have all these patterns that are really cute, but like, shoot, I don't know who said it. They're too pretty to cut into because you don't have anything to go with them or a purpose for them, right? Okay, so that was another frustration that they dealt with. And so all of these frustrations led them to examine the process and what makes that process simple and cute and fulfilling for the page designer. Because I know I will use this paper pack at some point, right? But I know that I have to have a certain amount of time in my day to address it, because I know it's going to take a lot more of my time, my stress level, my, internal gumption, whatever you want to call it, to scrapbook with it, because I know I'm going to have to go find other paper to match. I know that I'm going to be a little bit frustrated because I have so many patterns that don't work together because they're all busy. This flower pattern is really pretty, but it's huge, right? And I don't have anything to go with it, okay? Because they're all main patterns. I do have one, I have a stripe. I have this stripe that I would consider a supporting pattern that would be really cute with, one of these patterns. They would go kind of with all of them. But that's the only one I really have. And then I have all this left over. So I know it's going to take a lot more brain power and it's not going to be as fulfilling. Yes, exactly, Leslie. We buy 2 packs and we end up with tons left over and we feel like, what a waste, right? Where'd our dollars go? So, same with this kit. It's a school kit. I've had it forever, but I haven't built up my energy to deal with it because when you look at the front, it's all busy patterns. And they coordinate as a collective, group. They're all school related. But the buses all these main patterns will set a mood for your page, right? So you might have a general school theme. You've got alphabets, backpacks, buses, rulers, clocks. I mean, they're all school things, but they are so busy that you couldn't use them together to create a cohesive page. You would have to pull in other things to tone it down and really give your pictures the framing and the focus that they deserve. So, so that is what paper companies do, right? They mass produce cute patterns because that's what they're in the business of doing, is pumping out paper, right? There's new paper all the time. And we are drawn to the eye candy, to the patterns that we, think are cute. And then, but they don't have the page designer in mind and the emotions that you're going to go through as you design that, right? So Susan and Shiloh and Debbie, being scrapbookers themselves, felt this frustration and they wanted to examine that process and get the fulfillment that they wanted from designing a page, which, you guys are all page designers. All of us, the scrapbook, are page designers, and or creating cards or using the paper in any way. We should be able to get that creative fulfillment and things from our, from creating without the stress, right? We create to relieve stress, not build stress. Ruth, I always use a plain cardstock for background to extend the packs for events where I'll be creating 6 to 8 pages. Right. So yeah, you can pull in cardstock, but then a lot of times you don't have, sometimes it's hard to find the colors that really coordinate. I mean, you can get close usually or use plain white or whatever, but then a lot of times you don't have the blenders and things that we're missing. So now we're going to get into the nitty gritty of Kiwi Lane's process. So after analyzing everything, we set on a process. So what we start with when we design paper, yes, Cynthia, we've all felt it. We all feel it. We just don't acknowledge it because we are so drawn to the cute patterns that we don't acknowledge the stress we're feeling. And so I will get into that in a little bit. that usually if you're feeling stress, it's your paper. The paper designers of that paper did not do a good enough job, or there's some sizing issues that you might be having as well that might, yeah. Okay, so, awesome, Laura. I am lucky that I have a couple of great scrapbook stores near that carry both the kit, plus they sell the paper individually as well. That way I can get exactly what I need. That is awesome. It is nice when you can pick the certain papers, as long as they have the blenders to go with it, because a lot of times there's just so many patterns that it's really hard to work with. Okay, so what we start with here at Kiwi Lane, I'm going to use this bloom. Hopefully you guys are taking advantage of the paper sale, but I'm gonna use bloom as my object lesson tonight. Okay. So when we create paper, we start always with the main patterns. Okay. The main patterns set the whole mood of your layout. Okay. So we always have two main patterns. Okay. I'm gonna set those aside for now. So in bloom, we have this fun floral pattern, okay, has birds and florals and things. And then our other main pattern is butterflies, okay. Sometimes the main patterns, you know, we talk about what is the theme that we want to hit. What are the pictures that you might use with this theme, okay. And then sometimes we discuss how can we cohesively hit two themes. So these are, you know, a cohesive spring type collection, but they're a little different. Like you could go the floral route, or, you know, just butterflies. Sometimes you might have like school, like in our school days paper kit, you have a more school theme, and then you have a more general like floral theme. Awesome, Misty. Stay with me, and I'm going to give you your mind will be blown, all right? Okay. So this is where we start. We always start with the main patterns. And you might see fall and school, because they're kind of can be the same color palette or whatever, but they can hit two different themes: Easter and spring, sports, and maybe a general play. So sometimes the theme is all the same, and sometimes we can hit two different themes with the same color palette. But we always start with the main pattern, and we have two mains, okay? We don't want to complicate things. We don't want to make things, you know, decisions to be hard. You have this main, that's it. You choose what works best with your pictures, okay? Then from there, we go to supporting patterns. Supporting patterns, we do 2 to 3. It just depends on the designer and the, you know, amount of patterns they want to put together. So our main patterns usually have the full color palette, like I was talking about before. All the colors in the color palette of the line will be in the main patterns. This makes it easier to layer things with it later because all the colors are represented. So then when we go to supporting patterns, they could have the full color palette, or they could just have a few colors. But the thing with our supporting patterns is they're there to support, right? They're not there to be busy or overtake the main pattern. The main pattern sets the mood, and the supporting patterns support. So these are going to be basic patterns, geometric patterns a lot of times, polka dots, stripes, plaids, just general patterns, not themey at all, okay? They need to support both the main patterns, so in this line we have the stripe, and you could put the stripe with the butterflies, you could put the stripe with the flowers. They work with both. Our other supporting in this line is this pink pattern. You know, basic stripes, little knobby things, whatever you want to call it. It can go with both the floral and the butterfly. So you don't have to pick and choose, well, I'm going to use, you know, this supporting. It's just your preference. But you know that either supporting will go cute with either main pattern. So if I'm going to use this main pattern on a layout, and I'm going to use the stripe, I'm not going to use the whole, you know, if I used this main pattern and cut a border out of it, right? I still have this bottom part to, if I wanted to use another border to support it, then I still have this main pattern, and I know that this supporting is going to go well with it. So I'm not losing anything, okay? If I wanted to use this main pattern with this supporting, I'm still going to have half a sheet of both. So I could still use my stripe with this one, or I would still have some of this. You know, I've got some title cards back here. I'm not losing anything, all right? All of my paper, it goes to use. Okay, so there's our supporting and our mains, okay? Gotta keep it all straight here. Okay, so we've got mains, we've got supportings. From there, we go to blenders. Blenders are so important, okay? Blenders, we usually have 6 to 7 blenders in our double layout kits. Works the same in our Kiwi Club kits, usually around 6 to 7. These can be two-tone colors, which would be like, I don't know if I have one in this kit. I don't think we have any. So a two-tone would be like a red and white stripe, okay? Like just two basic colors, not any more colors than that. Just two colors, red and white stripe, black and white polka dot, you know, something like that. Or they can be true blenders like these ones, which is 2 shades of the same color. Okay, so you've got the light blue, the dark blue. You've got this cute butterfly bird pattern, but it's a dark blue with a light blue on top. The teal with the light teal flowers. Oh, this is kind of like a two-tone right here. So it's white with a yellow, really light yellow polka dot on top. So this would be like a two-tone. I don't know if you guys can see that, but that would be a little closer to a two-tone. And then we've got, you know, the yellow stripe with the darker yellow, and then the pink. So these blenders are crucial for layering with accessories and tiny accessories. It makes it so easy. Okay, so if I had this main pattern and I had, let's make it easier since they're 2 different sheets. I had this stripe behind it. I could cut out flowers out of the pink. I could cut out, you know, a bird out of the blue. I could cut out, you know, whatever I wanted. And these colors are soft. I mean, they're the bright colors of the line, but they're not going to detract from the main pattern. Okay, see how they just pop off of it? Because those colors are in the main pattern, and these are more solid and not as bold, they're going to layer really well on those pattern papers and highlight the main pattern, not distract from it. If I was going to use this other line and so say I had this main pattern, if I don't have blenders, so say I had this, right? It's really, well, that doesn't really, I mean, it works, but if I don't have the blenders and I try and layer busy on busy, it just gets really distracting for your eyes, right? It just, you need the blenders to really create that contrast and the depth for your accessories so that the patterns don't just blend and get lost in each other. Okay, so blenders, they are crucial, and they really, you know, I've seen people ask, you know, why do you put so many blenders in there? because if you're doing a double layout kit and you want to use every bit of your paper, you can get 2 full 2-page layouts out of 1 paper pack with no waste, guys. Isn't that awesome? To spend $15 on a paper pack and use every bit of it, like every bit of it, practically, right? Without feeling like, oh, I've got pages and pages that I can't even use. So, these blenders allow you to use your main patterns, your supporting patterns to their full ability. And even if you didn't want to, say you didn't want to use either main pattern, right? You can make a really cute layout. Just use your supporting patterns. Make your supporting pattern your main pattern, like this stripe. If you wanted just a basic layout, you could totally turn this stripe into a main pattern and use your blenders on top. See? They still coordinate perfectly, and you can create your accessories and your different things with your blenders. Your blenders stretch your paper and really make your patterns look their very best. Okay, so there's blenders. You guys still with me? Okay, Kath, thank you. I want you guys to really understand how much thought goes into these paper packs. Like, we have your best interest at heart. We spend so much time analyzing, and we go through the motions, and we feel the frustrations along with you. And we don't want you to feel that way. You shouldn't have to feel that way. If you feel that way, the designer didn't do their job right, or the paper is the problem most of the time. Okay? So I want you to understand that. I don't want people to feel like I'm not good at scrapbooking because I get so stressed and frustrated all the time. It is not your fault. Okay? It is the paper's problem most of the time. I feel it every time I use paper. Well, I shouldn't say every time. Almost every time I use paper that's not Kiwi Lane, I feel it. Sometimes it's worse than others, depending on the pack, but I do feel it because it takes so much more effort. I could sit down with this bloom pack and make a layout in not very long because it all is thought out ahead of time. Kiwi Lane takes the prep work away from you. You don't have to think it through. It all will work. No matter the way you do it, it will all work. Okay. So then, after the blenders, we go to backgrounds, okay? In a double layout kit, the same with a Kiwi Club kit, you're going to get 4 color options, okay? Sometimes there's 2 light options, 2 dark options. It just depends on the line and the color palette, but you will always have 4. So you can get 2 double layouts, 2 2-page layouts out of every kit. Or if you like to do 1-pagers, you can get 4 1-pagers. That is amazing to get 4 pages out of 1 kit. Okay. Julie, do you literally design the actual paper, or do you select the colors, patterns from all the vendors and put them into kits? Julie, we have specific Kiwi Lane designers. So Shiloh is one of our designers. She's one of the founders of Kiwi Lane. She designs some of our paper. Her daughter Clara designs for us. Susan's niece Stephanie is one of our designers. And Susan designs as well. So we design all of our paper in-house. We do not get any paper from vendors. So we spend, when we say, paper is a long process, it is. It starts months and months ahead of time before it actually goes to print. We have meetings to decide on the theme and the colors that we want to hit. Our designers put together mood boards, and then I work with Susan on approving those mood boards. And we, you know, give the designer feedback, and they make adjustments where we suggest, and then they move on to, like I said, the main patterns. We start there, we approve the main patterns, make sure they're going in the direction that we'd like to see, and then it progresses down the line, just like I've been going with you guys, from main patterns to supporting patterns to blenders, title cards, all of that. So yes, everything is designed in-house. It is a long process, but a really fun process as well. It is really awesome to see it all come together. That's why when the sample, we always get a sample run so that we can see how the colors print, make size adjustments if we need, like if this pattern printed we felt it was too big to layer well, we would see that in the sample run, and then we would have the designer make a size adjustment for the final print. But we always get a sample run, and when that sample run would come, it always comes to me, and I would always run through the office that it's Christmas. It was so exciting to see the months of work finally come to print. It's really fun to see it all finalized. So yes, all of our paper is designed personally by Kiwi Lane. We don't get any paper from other vendors. So backgrounds. So when we're deciding on backgrounds, we lay the mains on. You guys are getting all the details. You're gonna be all up to speed on how this all works. But it is fun for you guys to know what happens with your paper and the process it goes through. Mary, this will be not on YouTube, but you'll be able to watch the replay here in this group. Okay, so it will be posted, the replay, if you want to watch the whole thing. At least I think so. I don't know if it will be put on YouTube maybe later on, but you will be able to see the replay in this group. Are all of your paper packs packaged in an order? Like front to back is first main design, then complementing, then blenders? Does that make sense? So Dawn, not in, well, I guess there is kind of an order. I think I've noticed that the backgrounds are always in the back. I inform the manufacturer which pattern goes on the front. So when you open your kit, it's always going to be, I usually always put one of the main patterns on the front. I think in Bloom, this one is on the front. So usually I am the one that picks which pattern goes on the front. The manufacturer seems to always put the backgrounds on the back. And then the order the rest of them go in, it's up to them. We don't specify that. All we specify is what goes on the front. So I guess that's kind of our little bit of eye candy. I guess what goes on the front. So I do the same with Kiwi Club. I'll usually pick one of the main patterns to go on the front of Kiwi Club as well. Because the main pattern is kind of what gives you an idea of what the rest of the line is going to feel like, look like, colors and things. So that's why we do that. So when we choose background sheets, we will lay the main pattern on the back, like all the color options. We'll pull all the colors from the line to determine which is the best colors for a background. We lay the main patterns on there. We see what pops. We see, because the backgrounds are there to ground your layout. Okay, so we determine what the main patterns look best on, the colors they look best on, how they really highlight and make the main pattern shine. Because when you lay like this main pattern on the dark blue, has a completely different feel. Watch the colors as I switch these backgrounds. So there's the main pattern on the blue, and then the main pattern on the green. Do you guys see that? This is a much softer look. It draws the green and gives you a much softer feel and much more contrast and drastic on the blue. Same on this teal. You have a drastic contrast. And then on this one, it pulls, you definitely see the red pull out of this main pattern more. So we go through all of that. We look at all the colors. Let me see if I can show you. So if we put it on the pink, it's a completely different feel as well. And the yellow. See, if you made the yellow the background, it really doesn't do much for this main pattern because the yellow is just a very small amount in this main pattern. It really just doesn't do much for the main pattern. So we definitely take all of that into consideration. What really makes the main pattern shine and look its very best. There's a lot of thought process. Like I said, guys, we take all the thought out of this paper process for you, okay? So, so there's our backgrounds. You get 4 background sheets, so automatically you don't have to go and find matching backgrounds. You don't have to use plain cardstock. All of our backgrounds have patterns, so it just adds to the feel, but they're all subtle, so they're not detracting from your pictures and the rest of your layout. We like to have patterns on all our papers, but they are subtle on the backgrounds. Although we did do a line, I will say, that had, now I don't remember, I think it was in a Kiwi Club. We did a plaid as a background. And, oh, in the September 2020, you guys remember the sunflower one? It had a plaid as one of the backgrounds, and we decided to give it a try, and it was so cute. Most of the time, though, it is subtle patterns. So that is the base, the bulk of the paper right there, okay? Now, I am going to give you a little enlightening on title cards. Title cards are a little different in our double layout kits because they're on the back of a sheet. And in our Kiwi Clubs, you get 16 title cards, right? So, so they are designed a little different, but how we start with titles is we make a list based on the theme. We scour Pinterest and Google and the internet, and we find all different titles, quotes, things, etc. that that might work with that theme, with that line. And we then break up that long list based on memories. We think about what are people going to be able to scrapbook with this kit? What memories might they use? So if it was a summer theme, we might break up our list into beach titles, just sunny weather titles. We might have pool titles. We might have just general summer titles, and titles that could work on a scrapbook layout or a card, some that are more geared toward cards. We break up that long list and we really think through what you guys, ladies, whoever, who uses our paper might use our paper for. What memories are they going to document with this kit? And we want to make sure there's a variety so that your kit can be used to the full extent. We don't want anyone to feel like, I can't use any of these titles, they don't apply. That should never, ever happen. So we make a big effort to make sure that your titles can be used to their full extent, depending on your memories. So we want to make sure there's a good variety. Then, referring to the Kiwi Club title cards especially, those usually have a title on one side, and then on the back we have like colored patterns, right? And those are determined based on colors that we feel like maybe you might want more of in your kit, that Say it was a snowman theme, okay? I'm just throwing this out there. And you might need more white. You might have a white sheet, but we feel like maybe you're going to need a little bit more white. So we might put a few of the cards have a white pattern on the back. Or color, depending on the templates that we feel might be used with the paper, might determine what kind of colors are on the backs of those cards as well. We really think through what you're going to need and what's going to make things easier for you. Sometimes we might have additional patterns for variety or other color combinations that aren't in the blenders or the supporting patterns. Like in the October 2020 kit, we put in some additional plaid color combinations on the backs of those title cards that weren't in the kit, but just other color combinations so that you could make cute plaid leaves or pumpkins or whatever in different color varieties. So we thought that through as well. Cheryl, I worked for a scrapbook wholesaler. It's a huge job to design the papers, then have them manufactured, then have them shipped to you, then sent to your club members. I get you, and I respect all the effort you put into making a great product. Thank you, Cheryl. It is a lot of work, but it's so fun to see it, the whole process, you know, once it comes to final print. But we wanted to share with you guys all the thought that we put into it. We're not just mass producing paper to add to your stash. We are thinking it through as scrapbookers ourselves, and making the process easier for us and easier for you, because we feel the same frustrations as you. And if we're feeling it, you're feeling it. And that should never be part of something that you enjoy, right? So that's it, right? You have your main patterns, you have your supportings, you have your blenders and your backgrounds and your titles, and all cohesively, you can get 2 double layouts done easily. Stress-free, thought removed, stress removed, and all of your paper will then disappear and go into your scrapbook. Any scraps you have left can easily make a really cute card to send to somebody. So we don't want these really cute patterns just sitting in your stash collecting dust because they aren't user friendly. Even though we all have them, you're going to feel the frustrations when you use them. You just have to go in understanding that. And I hope now you guys understand why you feel the frustration that you do. It is not because you are not good at it or whatever. It is the paper's fault. It is the paper's fault. And so our job as designers of paper is to make your job as a designer of your page simple and fun again, and fulfilling and effective and practical. And so, you know, our time is precious. We all are busy. We all have busy lives, and our time is precious. We shouldn't have to spend our time collecting all this stuff when we already bought a paper pack. Our paper pack should work for us. And we hope that you guys will find that it does in your Kiwi Lane paper packs, whether that is our double layout kits, our quick card kits are the same. All the thought process still goes into the quick card kits as well, the same philosophy to make it simple and cohesive and work for you. And so that your time is valuable. We understand your time is valuable, and we don't want you wasting your time and stressing over your time and the process at all. So hopefully, Kathy, makes sense. I've always been a solid cardstock girl, and now that I've found Kiwi Lane, I'm looking at more patterns. Thanks so much for the explanation, Valley. Appreciate the clarity of using the papers. Many thanks. You guys are welcome. I hope you guys were enlightened and feel a new rejuvenation to use your paper stash. You can make it work, but definitely. And Susan, next week, I think she's doing a live on how to pick paper. So I think she's also going to share when you do have paper packs like this with lots of main patterns, how you can break those up and make them into smaller cohesive packs to take a little bit of that stress away. So with kind of the Kiwi Lane mindset in mind. So definitely tune into that. She will help you. If you are a paper hoarder, which all of us said we were, she's going to help you out next week. How to pick paper, how to get through the stressful situations that you might find yourself in with other paper, and how to combine those into smaller, more user-friendly packs as well. So definitely tune in for that. Thank you guys so much for joining me. It's been a lot of fun hanging out. And now you guys can share with your friends. You guys are Kiwi Lane experts on paper now and can share the whole process from start to finish. You know how it works. It's a lot of collaboration and teamwork, and they come out awesome every time. So hopefully you guys feel that stress-free, creative fulfillment from using our paper as well. We hope you do. So you guys have a great night. Thanks so much for joining me. You guys are awesome. We'll see you guys later. Bye.